2008 Land Rover LR2. Going to do Haldex, center diff, fluid, and filter change. So here's the filter. There's part number if you guys want the same thing. Comes with a new cap, 2 bolts, and a filter. Haldex fluid, it's like 0.65 liters if we could do a full drain, which probably won't happen. This one meets Land Rover LR05491 spec, and you see it's pretty explicit Haldex fluid. So, got a cheater bar, 13mm wrench, 4mm hex or Allen key for those small bolts. Funnel with a tube, we'll see if we use that. I'm sure we'll need to use this syringe for drawing the fluid out, and then a bunch of random pliers and screwdrivers to try to pull these guys out. Under the vehicle here on the driver's side, here's the driver's side rear axle. I've already loosened up the plug, which is why there's some oil, but here's the drain and fill plug for the Haldex unit. This is why I had to use the box end, because once you stack a socket and a ratchet here, you can't back the bolt out if you can even get it on there. It's kind of interesting because for the diff with these fins here, these support structures, you can't fit a box end on there, but you can fit a ratchet and socket. So that was a bit odd. Come around, you can see the Haldex unit, pretty clearly labeled. The filter we're going to change is hiding behind this cap, which is now on the passenger side of the vehicle. So if I can get up here, you can see 2 screws or bolts that are going to come out, and we'll go from there. So we'll take this fill plug out. Like I said, it was already loose. Nothing's draining from there. Then we'll come around the back here and start working on the filter. All right, try to get these 2 bolts out and get the cap off. Not a lot of room to spin the tools, which is also why I can't use a short socket in here. I just loosened the bottom one. I don't want to open it because I don't want the fluid just flying everywhere yet. Let's see if I can fit it this way. Hoping there's room to remove all of this with this diameter in the way, but we'll see. All right, let's see if this cap comes off. I'm gonna have to pry it. So we'll clean that up a bit, and then we'll try to get this out. Oh, that was quite a mess. Here's the cap part that came out with the black O-ring in the center. There was this feature here that made it pretty easy to remove. Just stuck a screwdriver in there and pulled it out. We'll let this drain for a moment while I clean up some of the mess down here. All right, so that's been draining for a bit. Looking at this, there's a spring inside. that probably pushes the filter towards the rear. I'm going to just try to pull that out by hand. Yeah, it's full of oil. But here's the spring. And the new filter kit did not seem to come with that, unless I missed it in the package, so I'm just going to clean it off and stick it with the bolts for now. And then I did not see a feature to actually be able to pry this off with. So I'm just going to take a pair of needle nose pliers and try to grab the lip and hope that it pulls out. Oh, there we go. Gonna let that drain for a moment. And I've been attempting to measure the amount of fluid that comes out, as this is dripping into a measuring cup, but we already failed a bit, allowing everything to fall earlier. All right, so this is not secured very tightly in there. I'll do a quick visual inspection of these and compare them to the new ones. All right, good thing I took a look at these, even though the caps are the same. The bolts are a different size height. It didn't come with this spring, and the filters are not the same height, though they are the same bore. So I'll loosely try to fit this in and see if it goes. But I have a feeling I will just replace the original equipment back in, and then the next time I do the diff change, or sorry, the fluid change, I'll document the part numbers that I see on here. And go from there. Actually looking at these without even putting them back in the vehicle, you can tell there's an O-ring seal on the end there, and those are different diameters. So even if there was enough room axially, there's going to be a different size bore at the end. Very disappointing, because I ordered this from a Land Rover specific website that said that it was the appropriate one for this vehicle given the year and model, and it came from the UK, so I can't really return it. It's not going to be cost effective. All right, so that's all back together with the original equipment. None of the O-rings were damaged or anything. And I guess the next time I change the fluid, I'll take care of that. All right, I've got the syringe ready to go here. Gonna try to shoot as much towards the vehicle with the hose as possible. Start drawing out fluid. So I'll just continue to do this until I've drawn it all out. I may reposition the hose once or twice and see if I can get a little bit more. So from that first draw, when I pulled the syringe off, it's actually doing a siphoning effect. So I'll let this drain for a while. You can hear it going on its own right now. And then I will I'll manipulate the hose a bit and try to draw some more fluid out. All right, so I was able to reposition it and get a little more fluid out. This is not a level surface, but I checked on a level surface and got about 425 milliliters out. You can see the fluid's pretty dark. And then for the new one, I don't know if you guys have ever used Ravenol before. This was my first time, but they're pretty interesting because they kind of have, you pull it up unscrew it. And there's this filler inside. It's a little bit of a struggle. So these, as far as I know, are mail order only. But the disadvantage is it leaked in the package because of how it's set up. So I'll see if I can fit in there with this. Last time I was able to get this tube at the end of the funnel to fit on the end here, and then I could just squeeze the bottle, since I'm only using about half of it, to fill the front diff. All right, so that hose was very flexible. I will be able to squeeze and articulate the bottle and get some fluid in through here, but I'll end up having to do something else to fill it all the way. All right, I ended up having to use a funnel, running it out the driver's side wheel with a long tube. So now that it's just dripping a little bit here, I'm gonna reinstall the plug. And I'm not gonna show it in the video, but you idle the car for 5 minutes, fill it up again until it starts dripping, and then use a syringe to pull out 70 milliliters of fluid. So that'll be my next step here.